Welcome to Bereans Corner, the podcast where we go through books of the Bible, chapter by chapter and verse by verse. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining. Grab a glass of water, a cup of coffee or tea, and let's get into today's lesson. All right, thank you for joining me and welcome back. Open your Bible to Numbers chapter 36. The title of today's lesson is Inheritance for Marriage. Numbers 36, and let's read.
Numbers 36. The family heads of the clan of Gilead, son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, who were from the clans of the descendants of Joseph, came and spoke before Moses and the leaders, the heads of the Israelite families. They said, "When the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land as an inheritance to the Israelites by lot, he ordered you to give the inheritance of our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. Now suppose they marry men from other Israelite tribes, then their inheritance will be taken from our ancestral inheritance and added to that of the tribe they marry into. So part of the inheritance allotted to us will be taken away. When the year of Jubilee for the Israelites comes, their inheritance will be added to that of the tribe into which they marry, and their property will be taken from the tribal inheritance of our forefathers." Then at the Lord's command, Moses gave this order to the Israelites: "What the tribe of the descendants of Joseph is saying is right. This is what the Lord commands for Zelophehad's daughters. They may marry anyone they please, as long as they marry within the tribal clan of their father. No inheritance in Israel is to pass from tribe to tribe. For every Israelite shall keep the tribal land inherited from his forefathers. Every daughter who inherits land in any Israelite tribe must marry someone in her father's tribal clan, so that every Israelite will possess the inheritance of his fathers. No inheritance may pass from tribe to tribe, for each Israelite tribe is to keep the land it inherits." So Zelophehad's daughters did as the Lord commanded Moses. Zelophehad's daughters, Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, married their cousins on their father's side. They married within the clans of the descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in their father's clan and tribe. These are the commands and regulations the Lord gave through Moses to the Israelites on the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho.
Now, the last time we were together, we looked at the cities that were for the Levites and the cities of refuge. If you remember, those were the cities that if someone committed like a murder intentionally, he would be able to get away from the blood slayer until he had his day in court. Today, we are looking at the inheritance by marriage. Now, we have broken this down into 4 parts. Part number 1, a problem that could occur concerning the female's inheritance. Now, we see this in verses 1 through 4, but before we get there, I just want to remind you of how we got here. If you're thinking to yourself, well, what do you mean about the female's inheritance and the issue that may occur? Well, let me just take you back to a story about the daughters of Zelophehad back in Numbers. So when I say back in Numbers, I mean you're just going to go back a couple of chapters. So you can hold your finger here if you would like, but I want you to go back to Numbers 27 so we can see how we got here. Numbers 27, and we are looking at the law of inheritance, and we are going to look at verses 1 through 11. Then the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, came near, and these are the names of his daughters: Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moses and before Eleazar the priest and before the leaders and all the congregation at the doorway of the tent of meeting, saying, "Our father died in the wilderness, yet he has not among the company of those who gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah, but he died in his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be withdrawn from among his family because he had no sons? Give us a possession among our father's brothers. What the daughters are talking about here, if you remember back in Numbers 27, is that the inheritance was supposed to pass on to the sons, but this man had no sons, only daughters. Moses brought their case before the Lord. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, the daughters of Zelophehad are right in their statements. You shall surely give them a hereditary possession among their father's brothers, and you shall transfer the inheritance of their father to them. Further, you shall speak to the sons of Israel, saying, if a man dies and has no son, then you shall transfer his inheritance to his daughter. And if he has no daughter, then you shall give his inheritance to his brothers. And if he has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to his father's brothers. And if his father has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to his nearest relative in his own family, and he shall possess it, and it shall be a statutory ordinance to the sons of Israel, just as the Lord commanded Moses. So now you see how we got here, is that the daughters of Zelophehad went and basically protested Moses and said, look, our father died. He had no sons. There's only us. Why should he lose his inheritance? So now we get to chapter 36 and verses 1 through 4. And the heads of the fathers' households of the family of the sons of Gilead, the sons of Machir, the sons of Manasseh, the sons of the families of the sons of Joseph came near and spoke before Moses and before the leaders, the heads of the fathers' households of the sons of Israel. And they said to the Lord, command my Lord to give the land by lot to the sons of Israel as an inheritance. And my Lord was commanded by the Lord to give the inheritance of Zelophehad, our brother, to his daughters. But if they marry one of the sons of other tribes, the sons of Israel, their inheritance will be withdrawn from the inheritance of our fathers and will be added to the inheritance of the tribe to which they belong. Thus it will be withdrawn from their allotment inheritance. And when the Jubilee of the sons of Israel comes, then their inheritance will be added to the inheritance of the tribe to which they belong. So their inheritance will be withdrawn from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers. Now, you got to understand what's going on here is that Machir and his boys bring up the Jubilee legislation. Now, they are bringing a good point. And what they're saying is that, okay, we understand that the Lord told you to give these 5 daughters of Zelophehad an inheritance. But what happens if they go outside of the tribe of Manasseh, who is the son of Joseph? What happens if they decide to marry a man in one of the other 11 tribes? So Machir and his boys bring up the Jubilee legislation. Now, if you want to know about that, you can go back and look at the lesson that I did in Leviticus. This is talked about in Leviticus 25, verses 13 through 55. So you can go back and check out that lesson, and you can see what they are bringing up here about this Jubilee legislation. Now we move on to part 2, the solution. We see this in verses 5 through 9. Then Moses commanded the sons of Israel, according to the word of the Lord, saying, the tribe of the sons of Joseph are right in their statement. Did you get that? The tribes of the sons of Joseph are right. The Lord is saying, yeah, they're right in what they're saying. Verse 6. This is what the Lord has commanded concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry whom they wish. Only they must marry within the family of the tribe of their father. I want to point out something there. The Lord said, let them marry whom they wish. So the Lord is saying they can marry whoever they want, but only to keep this inheritance, only they must marry within the family of the tribe of their father. So they can marry whatever man they want, but it needs to be a man within the tribe of Manasseh. This is how they will keep the inheritance in the family. Verse 7. Thus, no inheritance of the sons of Israel shall be transferred from tribe to tribe, for the sons of Israel shall each hold to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. And every daughter who comes into possession of an inheritance of any tribe of the sons of Israel shall be wife to one of the family of the tribe of her father, so that the sons of Israel each may possess the inheritance of his father. And let me hold up right there. Did you get that? She has to marry within the family. It said right there, she may be wife to one of the family of the tribes of her father. So she can pick whatever man she wanted as long as he was within her father's line. Verse 9 says, thus no inheritance shall be transferred from one tribe to another, for the tribes of the sons of Israel shall each hold to his own inheritance. Each one in the tribe of Israel was to hold to his own inheritance, and this was to be sure that these 11 tribes that had land, that had this possession and this inheritance would keep it. Which brings us to part number 3. The daughters respond. We see this in verses 10 through 12. Just as the Lord had commanded Moses, so the daughters of Zelophehad did. Listen, did you catch that? These daughters obeyed the word of the Lord. They heard what the man who God appointed, which is Moses, above the people, had to say, and the daughters did as where they were commanded. Mahlah, Tirzah, Haglah, Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, married their uncle's sons. Meaning what? Meaning that they did exactly what they were told to do. They married their uncle's sons so they could keep this land and this inheritance in the family. And there's a lesson to be learned here now. In the times that you and I live in, we don't marry, our uncle's sons or our uncle's daughters. Those things came to an end. But what they did here was, back in this time, in this culture, that was accepted, and this was how you kept things in the family. Now, in our time, even though we don't marry amongst the family like that, there is something to be said to keeping things in the family, to keep keep it, whether it's your house in the family, to keep your land in the family, or maybe to even keep your money in the family. There is something to be said about that. Verse 12, they married those from the families of the sons of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained with the tribe of the family of their father. So that is how they kept all of these things in the land, and they kept it in the family of their father. Which brings us to part number 4, the conclusion. And it also concludes chapter 36 of the book of Numbers. These are the commandments and ordinances which the Lord commanded to the sons of Israel through Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan opposite Jericho. So this book ends on a high note. It ends with more commandments and ordinances. And the thing about it is that it ends with the people actually doing what the Lord commanded. Now, we know that Israel, they are hard-headed, stiff-necked people, and they don't always do the things that the Lord commands. But this is an example of them finishing strong and doing the things that the Lord commands. Now, remember, they are getting ready to cross over and go into the land that the Lord has promised them. So they are going in obedience. Now, we know that Israel does not always stay in obedience. They didn't do it then, and they don't do it to this very day. But this is an example to show you how the Lord will bless them and keep them if they keep his commandments. And that's how this chapter ends, with Israel following the commandments and the ordinance that the Lord gave through Moses. All right, that brings us to the end of Numbers chapter 36. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson as always. I hope that you got something out of it. I hope that it nourished you. I hope that it strengthened you. It's something about going through this Bible chronologically, and that's exactly what we're doing. I hope that you all are well wherever you are in this world. I am praying for you, praying that you are standing strong in your faith, standing strong in the scriptures. I'm praying that your health is doing well. And you know what? I like I always ask you to do the same for me. Pray for me that I stay strong, stay in good health, stay in good spirits, and walk every day with the Lord. The Lord is a lamp to my feet, and he's a light to our path. I pray the same for you, and I hope that you're praying the same for me. All right, that brings us to the end of the book of Numbers. I'm excited to get into the next journey as we now will move into the book of Deuteronomy, because chronologically, that is what's coming up next. So, Lord's willing, I will see you all when we get into the next book and the next study. That's all for now. God bless. Thank you for listening to Berean's Corner. We appreciate you joining us as we dive into God's Word and seek biblical truth together. If this episode encouraged or challenged you, be sure to subscribe, share, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. You can find Bereans Corner on Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Music, and more. Let's stay connected. If you have questions, comments, or prayer requests, reach out to us at bereanscorner.buzzsprout.com, where you can follow along with show transcripts and leave a message in the fan mail slot. Also follow us on YouTube at Bereans Corner, and don't forget to subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep searching the scriptures like a Berean. Stay discerning, stay faithful, and God bless.